Okay. Good morning, viewers. I'm Urmila Gulaini, educational consultant and author. Today we are going to discuss the topic why debate. How many of you have participated in debates at school or college? Why did your curriculum planners think debating was necessary? What is debating all about? What skills do CCA activities like debating develop? We'll try and find answers to all these questions today. My first question to you is, as learners of English, what does your English curriculum comprise of? As you're aware, English language curriculum comprises textbooks and assessment plans at the appropriate level of learning, through which you attain proficiency. It is designed to meet your primary requirement of communicating well in English, besides enabling you to develop a love for literature, appreciate poetry and other genres. It is designed to enable you to hone all 4 language skills, namely listening, speaking, reading and writing. It is also designed to develop your higher order skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, evaluating, inferring, and a host of other skills. In order to help you become a proficient user of the language, you are provided opportunities to read at various levels of understanding, become a proficient writer with a good command on your writing skills, and also develop oral skills so that you become a fluent and confident speaker, able to speak to audiences with boldness and ease. What skills do you aspire to develop? I'm sure each language learner aspires to develop various skills of the language so that he or she is able to use them in the best possible way, not only during the course of studies, but even at the workplace. I'm sure your expectations from the language course you're pursuing are many. You expect to be able to speak fluently. You expect that when you leave college, your ability to use the language in various situations at the workplace or in different social contexts and situations would be a great asset to you. You expect to be proud of your ability to have a fairly good command on the language skills acquired by you during the course of college and school education in different contexts. In fact, your social and work related needs are many. English being the language of the world, your need to be proficient in it is extremely critical to you. Whether you work in a BPO, an IT company, a corporate office, a bank, an MNC, whether you are a student in school or college, whether you're working in a shopping mall or a place where you need to just usher in people, knowledge of English is extremely important to you. So your aspirations for proficiency in English are surely linked to your needs. I'm sure you'll agree. Now my next question to you is, besides academics, what activities do you take part in as part of your curriculum? I'd like to request you all to spend a few minutes thinking about the different kinds of things you do as part of your curriculum. Not just the language curriculum, but also beyond it. That is, the different activities you are expected to participate in. Can you name them? Well, you take part in discussions, debates, recitations, role plays, one-act plays, street plays, creative writing activities, and so on. Something or the other is always on at college or school. Why are these activities included in your curriculum? Quite obviously, there is a clear purpose. A student in college or school needs to know not only how to read literature or history or commerce or physics or insurance and health, but the student also needs to have so many skills that will stand him or her in good stead at different junctures in life. The language skills that you require at the workplace are, let's look at them now. You need to develop so many skills. Effective communication, reasoning, critical thinking, decision making, creative thinking, confidence in presenting your views and arguments, fluency of speech, co-creating information, presentation skills, and so on. Your personal, social, interpersonal, and emotional needs are also multifarious, and they need to be developed as you learn in school or college in order that you are able to face different situations in life. You also need to have a good understanding of national and international situations and being able to discuss them in different forums at college or the workplace. The world has changed and college education too has changed. But have we been able to provide everyone with the kind of education that they need, with the kind of situations in which they could take part in discussions and debate important matters so that they are able to function well in later life? To participate in all these matters, it's imperative for you as students to be able to source and analyze, gather relevant information from a range of sources. You have to learn strategies for generating ideas, reshaping them, and presenting them to an audience. You also require to organize and edit information for a purpose, say an article, participate in a group discussion, participate in a debate, write personal views on social issues, or even to acquire knowledge and be able to analyze the knowledge that you have acquired. All these are skills that are so important for you, and you have to learn how to acquire them and how to build upon all these skills. Let's now talk about survival skills needed at the workplace. When you compare your language skills requirement with survival skills needed at the workplace, you'll find many commonalities. We've already discussed your language needs. And to survive at the workplace too, you need some or many of the skills which are quite similar to the skills of language that you need. The survival skills that you need are critical thinking, problem solving, agility and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurship, effective oral and written communication, accessing and analyzing information, curiosity and imagination, and the ability to collaborate across networks and to lead by influence. If you have these skills, working in different companies or at different places would not be difficult for you. Success at the workplace requires that you think critically before you take any decisions, solve problems, and take strategic decisions. The scenario at the workplace is quite challenging today. Not only are you expected to do sufficient research before taking critical decisions for the company you're working for, but you also require agility and quick thinking. You may have received education in one field of study, but job requirements may be varied and diverse. Are you able to adapt quickly to changing needs? A science graduate takes up a job in an MNC which has nothing to do with his science background. A financial consultant becomes an IAS officer. A person who has studied commerce all through his life has now got to change according to the needs of the company that he works for. Are you prepared for the change? Are you prepared to take initiatives? Without effective oral and written communication skills, you cannot participate successfully and to take initiatives. Whether it is in the academic world or in job-related programs. If you're not able to write or speak correctly, or convincingly, or logically, you will fail to get your message across or achieve targets or goals set out by you. Quite clearly, participation at school or college level in activities that require you to speak, express, argue, evaluate, and develop ideas to communicate with an audience will stand you in good stead. Now let's look at the role of co-curricular activities in your educational programs. What role can participation in co-curricular activities such as debate, symposium, speech, drama, group discussions, and other plays in developing some of the above skills? Well, since time immemorial, participation in oral and written activities that involve and encourage students to go beyond textbooks has been regarded as essential for their overall growth and development. Students did not go on stage just because their teachers wanted them to or for fun. You or I never participated in activities just because we were forced to and we did not realize their importance. At every stage in life, starting from nursery and going up to college, you have been involved in various oral and written activities with a purpose. There was more to it, and those who became vocal, confident speakers, good debaters, presenters, and actors will vouch that the activities in college or school have contributed immensely to their success as good orators, whether at college or in business. Not only this, participation in these activities develops a self-confidence in participating in discussions at the workplace and working in a team to come out with innovative strategies. Gone are the days when people at the workplace worked individually. Today, it is all about teamwork. It is all about brainstorming. It's all about working in a team, gathering ideas, presenting ideas, making PowerPoint presentations, convincing the others or getting convinced. And for all that, you need to develop these skills when you are in your learning period, whether at school or college or even beyond. By learning to source and analyze information too from a range of sources and developing strategies for generating ideas, reshaping them, and presenting them to an audience, students learn to present ideas rationally and convincingly. And organizing and editing information for a purpose, say an article, participation in a discussion forum, participation in a debate, writing personal views on an issue of current importance, students actually develop the important skills required in the real world of work and society. I hope you are all giving a thought to the importance of all these activities in your student life. Now let's see. How can debating develop some of the above mentioned skills? Well, participating in debates develops two kinds of skills. One, speaking skills, and the other, library, referencing, and presentation skills. Let's look at the speaking skills first. Take part in a debate and you will find your teachers asking you again and again to be fluent, to be effective in your speech, to know how to convince the others with your arguments. Preparing your arguments in favor or against a motion in such a way that you're able to convince the audience to accept your point of view and then presenting to an audience requires you to express fluently without any hesitation and to develop ideas and points that are your ability to convince also. So you need to have the ability to convince not only your opponents but also audiences who are seeking answers to burning questions that your views are right. Debating is all about arguments. It's all about counter arguments. It's all about convincing each other about what you think is right and being able to develop the understanding that the motion that has been debated and discussed threadbare is now understood clearly by not only you but all your teammates, the people from the other teams, and even members of the audience. Well, when you participate in debates, you need to have clarity of thought. You need to think under pressure. You need to present your arguments and counter arguments and rebut views. Rebuttal is a very important part of debating. And if you just read out from a prepared speech, you will not be able to make a mark as much as you would if you prepared after listening to your opponents and rebutting their views and supporting your own viewpoint. Debating is also all about demanding proof. When your opponent makes a statement, you have a right to demand proof, and that's how you learn to be able to be convinced by the others, not just by what they say, but how they say it and how they support it with examples, with evidences, which are very, very important. When you debate, quite obviously, the vocal skills such as pronunciation, voice modulation, oratorical skills have to be appropriate for the task of debating. You need to have a confidence and ease in your presentation. You take part in a debate not reading from a script, but managing the stage, managing your audience in such a way that you seem to be fully in charge of the situation. You seem to know what you want to say, and how you want to say it is as important when you are on the stage. Therefore, pronunciation and voice modulation and all other spoken skills are very, very important. You need to have confidence and ease when you're speaking. And you also need to have the ability to work in a group, to participate with cooperation with the other group members. Besides the speaking skills that I have mentioned, debating also helps you to develop your library, referencing, and presentation skills. Now, what kind of referencing skills do you need as a student? Let's look at a scenario where you're textbook bound and you read only lessons that are prescribed for you. And look at another scenario where you have to participate in a debate and where you have to read up, find out your material from various sources. So what happens in a debate? You develop these skills by force. The skills of referencing, the skills of learning how to make your presentations, the skills of scanning and skimming through various sources and being able to search for relevant content which is appropriate for the task that is at hand. Therefore, you learn to search, analyze, and select relevant and appropriate information. You also select arguments and counter arguments from various sources and learn to present them effectively and logically. As students, a very important skill that you develop is the habit of reading extensively. Not only reading extensively, you develop the habit of reading critically, sifting information that is valid and relevant and separating it from that which is irrelevant. Not only do you prepare for your own material, but you also read what your opponents are going to speak about. You know that you're discussing a certain topic and there are counter arguments that are going to come up. You don't prepare your own part of the speech, but you also prepare the speech of your opponent, because you must know that there are counter arguments that are going to come up and you need to know how you have to counter them when you are on the stage. You need to be able to rebut, you need to be able to interject, you need to be able to ask questions, and all these are the skills that you develop when you learn to take part in a debate. I'd like to read out a quote from Harrison Boyd Summers, who has very succinctly put all the abilities that you develop as a learner when you take part in a debate, which would, I'm sure, encourage every one of you listening to this talk today to take part in debates, not only in school but in college and even at the post-college level. Summers says, the student debater, learns to use a library and to find the exact information he needs in the shortest possible time. He learns to be thorough and accurate. He learns to analyze, to distinguish between the vital and the unimportant. He learns the need of proving his statements, of supporting every statement with valid evidence and sound reasoning. And he learns to demand the same sort of proof for the statements of others. He learns to present ideas in a clear and effective manner and in a way which wins others to his way of thinking. He learns to think under pressure, to use his head in a time of need, to make decisions quickly and accurately. In a word, the essential point in any debating situation is that of convincing the listener that your side of the proposition is desirable. This was an extract from How to Debate by Harrison Boyd Summer. Let me read out to you some of the quotations from students who have taken part in debates and found debating an extremely useful exercise which has stood them in good stead all their lives. As one student puts it, debating trained me to analyze and articulate the complicated nature of issues. And another student says, my intercollegiate debate was the most valuable experience of my college life. I benefited far beyond the normal extracurricular activity it encompassed. And another student says, the reward of time spent debating is greater than any other activity available to the typical student. So, my dear friends, we've had a brief discussion today on why debate. And let me tell you, there are times when students shun taking part in these activities because they think that their academics are more important. As I have already mentioned to you, the 21st century has great demands from you as learners. You need to learn not only science and commerce, you need to learn not only humanities, you need to learn not only insurance, but you need to learn how to go about life in the right way. And one of the very important things that you need in life is to be able to communicate effectively with your counterparts in later life, whether it is your life in the society, among your friends or family, or when you are conversing with people at the workplace. It's a very professional and business-like world that we are living in today. And if we falter in being able to express ourselves, in being able to debate issues, if we falter in being able to present our views strongly, even though we have them with us, then we fail to make a mark with those around us who have gone far ahead in life. Therefore, I would like to say that in the words of Thomas Hodzuk, Los Angeles attorney, the wisest advice I can give to persons considering debate as an activity is participate. In my opinion, hour for hour, the reward for time spent debating is greater than any other activity available to the typical student. In addition to the academic benefits, potential participants should be alerted to the lifelong friendship they will develop, the opportunity to associate with competitive, creative, and bright young people, as well as the favorable view of the activity taken by potential employers. I hope we have been able to understand the value of all co-curricular activities that involve us in various speaking and listening activities, but more so with regard to debate. I hope you've all enjoyed this session as much as we've enjoyed producing it. And in our next session, we'll talk about how to be an effective speaker. I'm sure that this discussion has raised many queries. As a student, I remember if my teacher did not inform me about the rules, about the principles, about the way in which I must debate, I felt I was not prepared. So, how should you take part effectively in a debate? This is something that I'm going to discuss in the next session, and we'll also try to find out what sort of topics and what sort of situations lend themselves well to debating, and how you must conduct yourself while taking part in a debate. I'm sure you have seen speakers speaking very loudly and using their fists to bang tables to make a point. Is it essential? Is it required? Or can you make a point by just maybe showing an apple or a ball, or by talking to people who are sitting there in the audience and are trying to converse with them and trying to make them understand and realize what the issue is that you're talking about. Having said all that, I would like to request you to note down my email ID if you have any queries or if you would like to discuss the issue further. So if you have any queries, please feel free to write to us at urmilagulaini48@gmail.com. Please do spend a few minutes penning your thoughts on the issue that we have discussed. It would be a great idea to go through the presentation once again and try to understand all the important points that we have discussed. And please do pen down your thoughts and queries, if any. If at all you have any queries from us, do write to us. Thank you very much.
मैडम एंड वाला पोर्शन एक बार फिर से लेना पड़ेगा उसमें
शॉर्ट हो गया?
नहीं शॉर्ट नहीं, ठीक है। एंड वाला जो पोर्शन है बाइंड अप,
हाँ,
तो थैंक यू बोल करके
हाँ,
वो
जस्ट दैट लास्ट वन,
क्योंकि एंड जो है ना बड़ा ड्रैगिंग और लंबा हो गया है,
ओके,
चेंज करना पड़ेगा। तो जरा वो जो एंड आपने किया है ना,
हाँ जी, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड गिविंग माय अबाउट माय क्वेरीज, अबाउट द क्वेरीज फ्रॉम देयर,
और
ओके,
बोलते हैं कि ईमेल एड्रेस वो जल्दी जल्दी बोल दीजिए, राइट टू अस ऑन दिस, उसमें टाइम ना लगाइए,
टाइम नहीं लगाना है, तो दिस बिकेम लॉन्गर, ओके. In the end, let me request all of you to ponder over the questions raised in this session. Hello? Okay, okay. All right. In the end, let me request all of you to ponder over the questions raised in this session. Please do pen down your answers, and please feel free to contact me at urmilagulaini48@gmail.com if you have any queries. I hope you all enjoyed the session as much as we've enjoyed producing it. Thank you.